Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Right, so for this part, which I did not mention during the first part, is I will only be discussing this question that most of you were not able to answer correctly. So I will not be going through all of the questions. However, I did include the answers, so you may have a look on, you may pause on some questions if you want to check the your workings or corrections that you have done. So we'll start with this question here. Calculate an estimate of the mean height. So what is given is a frequency table. So in order to find the mean height, first thing that you need to do is finding the mid value for each interval, and then find the sum, mid value, and then find the sum of the product of frequency and the mid value divided by total frequency to get the mean. So in the frequency table, you calculate the mid value, you add those two values together and then divide it by 2 and you get the mid value. So for the first one there, 125.135, that gives you 260. That means it's 130, 135 plus 140 divided by 2, it gives you 137.5, and then this one will give you 2.5, and this one will give you 147.5, and 150 to 160 will give you 155, right? So that means mean is equals to frequency times the mid value. You add it with the other class, and you continue this one with the rest of the classes. And divided by total frequency usually is given 180, or you can add up all of this, should be equals to 180, and you use your calculator, you add that up, correct the three significant figures, and you should get your answer 144. Okay. Now for this question, that's logic, because most of the bulk of 180 girls are around here, because this one is just a few, so obviously your mean would be somewhere here between this range. Okay, it's heavy on the right side, so having 144, that's a very logical value for mean. That's one way for you to check. Next question, solve by factorization. Most of you did by formula. So this is a quadratic. You do need to know how to factorize quadratic. You do need to know how to solve quadratic equation by using formula. Okay, either way. So when we did this one, we used the box method. X squared here minus 21 here. You put the factors on top, and what we want is we want factors of minus 21. So we have a negative, so I'll put a 7 here and a 3 here. That will give you minus 21. Fill in here, minus 7 times x minus 7x plus 3x, and this one, if I simplified it, I get minus 4x. So that means my first factor would be x minus 7, and the second factor is x plus 3. One of the things that you can approach this one is you can solve x minus 7 first by dividing both sides with x plus 3. 0 divided by any and the number is 0. So this one cancels out. So that means x minus 7 equal to 0. So x equal to 7. Or you can divide both sides by x minus 7. That works as well, right? That simplifies out x plus 3, and 0 divided by any number is always equal to 0. X equals to minus 3, and so your solution equals to x minus 3, x equals to 7. Next question is on probability. So this is the probability that Aisha takes that is green. Aisha repeat this 200 times. Work out the number of times she expects to take a green ball. Since the probability of taking a green ball is 12 over 40, you just multiply it with how many times she did it, and you'll get 60. That will be the final answer. Complete the tree diagram as like that. Now remember, it says without replacement, so the total for the second ball, everything should be less than 1. So if you take out the blue, the amount of blue is less, but the yellow remains the same. If you take out yellow, the amount of yellow should be lessened, but the amount of blue should be the same. So find the probability that the two balls are the same color. So we have probability of same color. We actually have two options. We have either the blue, first pick is blue, second pick is blue, or we have the first pick is yellow, second pick is yellow. So all I have to do is just multiply the blue probabilities of blues together and add it with the probabilities of yellows together using a calculator, and you will get 1940, which is the final answer. Okay, the next one is a graph of function question. Substitute x equals to 0 into the equation, you get y equal to 0.1. Plot the diagram, plot the points, join the points together, you get that 3 marks. And you can see here some steps on solving for the power of x over 10 equals to 5 by looking at that. So you get the answer, and then the tangent here. So that would be a solution there. Okay, but the question that most people are unable to answer is this one. What we have here is a quadratic equation. Find the value of a and value of b. So when you have a quadratic equation, let's say we have that, and when you factorize this, We use the box method as we did just now. So x square here, 6 here. Should be, sorry, should be minus, okay. So x times x equals to x, and you have minus here. That means one of the values is a negative to get minus 6. So 3 times minus 2 is minus 6. Fill the remaining box. Then 3x minus 2x is equals to 1x. So that means the factors for this would be x plus 3, x minus 2 equals to 0. When you translate that into a diagram, when you solve it, remember we solved it just now, divide both sides by x minus 2, so you get x plus 3 is equal to 0, or you divide both sides by x plus 3, you get x minus 2 is equals to 0. X minus 3, x equals to 2. That means the x value is minus 3 and 2 when this graph touches 0. So touches 0. So if you translate that into a graph, the diagram would look like this. So it touches at x minus 3 and x minus 2 where it's equal to 0. So the same thing with here. That means if you reverse that one, for this particular quadratic equation, looking at this one, these are already the solution. X equals to 2 and x equals to 5. Reverse it, that means minus 2 both sides, so x minus 2 equals to 0. Minus 5 both sides, x minus 5 equals to 0. And that means that x minus 2 and x minus 5 is the factor for this equation. Now using that, what I'm going to do is I am going to expand x minus 2, x minus 5, so that it looks like the quadratic equation here. So x squared minus 5x minus 2x plus 10. Again, you can do the box method here, the reverse one. Instead of filling inside, you put the factors outside and then multiply, and that's where you get that one. Okay, sama saja. So x squared minus 7x plus 10. Given y is equal to x squared plus ax plus b. So what we can do, we can compare equivalent terms. So x squared with x squared minus 7x with ax. That means your a is equals to minus 7. And then plus 10 is equals to minus 10 plus 10 equals to b. That means b is equals to 10, and that would be your solution. Okay, so that's the end of part 2.